Good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Ring Diaries here on Church of Uganda Family TV every Wednesday 9 p.m. with me, Phiona Mbowa. Here at Ring Diaries, we talk about everything and anything to do with marriage, and today we're going to talk about handling expectations in marriage. Now, recently I watched a video of a wedding ceremony, and as they were exchanging the vows, the woman was like, "Oh my God, I have got myself someone who's going to keep me, he's going to cook for me." And on the other hand, the man was also saying, I've gotten someone who's going to clean the house. Finally, my food is going to be home cooked. The woman is thinking, but we're going to be eating out all the time. And it made me realize that many a times we come into marriages with different expectations. But at what point do we communicate these expectations? Do we actually communicate them? So this evening we are honored to host two amazing men, one of whose the name is amazing, amazing Kato Ssemakula, who's married to a Nora Ssemakula for the last 11 years. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And then we have Ayub, that name?
Ayub Maswaswa Ayub Ssemakula.
Maswaswa Ayub Ssemakula, who's been married for 7 years. And I'm just going to have that conversation of expectations. You're very welcome to Ring Diaries.
Thank you so much.
So Ayub, when you're getting into marriage, did you have any expectations?
Yes. When I was getting married, I knew marriage was supposed to be fun, be happy all the time.
Okay.
Have the food anytime I need it.
Anytime?
Juice, yes.
Okay.
The clothes, because I used to wash my own clothes, I had my own clothes, so I knew all that was now sorted.
You have gotten a washing machine?
Literally everything was supposed to be on a silver plate for me.
Yes.
Yeah, so even during my wedding preparations, I had that in mind that let me put in all my efforts so that I do with some of the hassles I've been going through.
And how did that turn out?
Well, in the beginning, I would buy like the passion fruits, I'd buy the oranges, then I come back in the evening after work, I find no juice, so I'd call about the juice. After a few days, I'll find them rotten. So in my mind, I was like, I didn't see this coming. Otherwise, I don't think I would have hurried to get married. Because I knew everything was supposed to be like the way I thought it would. Yes.
Okay. And Kato,
yes.
For you, did you have any expectations getting into marriage?
Yeah, but first of all, you introduced me as amazing.
Yes.
I think the viewers need to know this.
Okay.
Because I got the amazing name from my dear wife. You know, by the time my wife calls you amazing, you must be very amazing. And you did consistent.
I'm going to take back my name.
Yeah, so it's my name, and I thank my dear wife, I know she's watching, by the way, for giving this very precious name. And this name has gone on and on to an extent that even my very parents call me amazing.
Wow.
My sisters, my siblings,
They
call me
you
amazing. Yes, so that's the name amazing. But it comes from the name Grace because I'm Kato Stephen Grace. So amazing Grace, really. I think that's why really it comes out. Yes, expectations. I think the first one, you're introducing us and you talked of marriage as when you're entering into marriage. So for me, the first word is entering into something. Because I think I came with some illustrations that I'm going to show.
Okay.
You will allow me to do this. The singles out there think that you have to enter into marriage, and they think marriage is something completely different from life. You leave this world,
and you enter marriage.
And enter into something called marriage. I have two.
Those who didn't study math.
I have two sets, and now these are they're called Venn diagrams.
Yes.
This is I think P3, P4.
Around there.
Yes. So we've learned about all of you know what we call universal sets, and then you know what you call a union set, and then you know what we call intersection set.
Okay.
So, in my understanding of life is the universal set, and marriage is the union set. Anyone who is not married is actually
the outside
of the two circles, but is part of life.
Okay.
You understand? So when two people get married, there's things they share in common. So there's a topista who is getting married to Frank. They have things they share in common, by the way.
Which is the intersection.
Exactly. But God says marriage is a union. So this one goes away. So marriage is a union. Which
even
means,
the things we don't share.
Exactly. So which means that you have to live even with the things that you don't
share.
You don't share in common. But they're part of the set.
Okay.
Yes, so this is the union set. To me this is marriage. The union of Topista and Frank. Now come to the expectations. Of course I had the expectations when I was getting married. And growing up, I grew up with a mother who used to be there for us, and the father who used to shower us and everything. And then I get into marriage and I find a lady who grew up with a single mother.
Okay.
You understand? Not only a single mother, but a single girl with a single mother. So my wife grew up with a mother like they're
sisters.
They're like sisters. You understand? Yeah. So immediately I had to put my expectations a little lower.
So these expectations,
yes.
What were those?
Number one.
Before you meet this single girl.
Yes. Number one, every time, especially when we were younger in age, Daddy would shower us with warm water.
Wow.
You see? And then Mom would be either preparing some dinner with the house help and stuff like that. And then at night they would call us together as kids, and they either lead us in a song and stuff like that. You see? But I, deep down my heart, knew that my wife has never experienced some of these things. Yes. And you know, with single mothers, they tend to be a little hard on what?
On the child.
On the child. You're my hope.
All I have.
You're all that I have. So ma, no jokes, nothing.
So while this side for you being showered and this one you have to read and...
Exactly. So, unlike my brother who shared that he respected some of these things, for me, I think I was at a point where I got to appreciate the fact that I'm not going to expect so much.
You got to learn that before you got into the marriage.
Exactly. And now my focus was on what I was going to be giving into the marriage. Because I was marrying my best friend, first of all, and I thought I never really had to make her work for me. Yes. Examples I can share are completely different from myself, but maybe the example is really...
Okay.
Yes,
So what I'm getting from this is, with Ayub, maybe you didn't learn about this, the difference in maybe character difference in the family background before you got into the marriage. So you went with your expectations and sadly maybe they were not. Then there's the element of you knew what to expect, so you stopped expecting. So at what point should we communicate our expectations to avoid this?
Yes, I can go first, or
Yes.
you can supplement if you feel like. First of all, the time where for me, I think the dating process is very important when you are dating. Because when you're dating, you get to know someone's likes. These days, people can hide.
Someone said
their
when you're
identities.
you're dating a representative of your
Yes.
person. So
People
you may not know those
exactly,
things.
yes. An example, if I'm dating you, I'd want to see how do you really get to that
And
extreme.
you refuse to marry me.
No. Yes, how do you get to that extreme? And then when you're filled with happiness, the people get happy and they cry. Look at my sister, you see?
Yes.
Yes. So I think to answer your question, at what point
Should we
communicate
these
expectations? I think the dating period. But since it's a marriage program, when you get married, the earliest, even if you didn't date for so long, you can marry each other and then date each other as you're married.
Okay.
Yes, you have to communicate. Because the love we read about in in Corinthians, first or second,
First
chapter 13, is a love that gives us the confidence to share who we are without being judged, because like you're my wife and then I'm your husband, so I can feel free to share really my fears with you, my expectations with you.
Okay.
Yes, and then lastly, because the when two become one, they always say, when, I don't know if it's a verse in the Bible, but when two become one, the question is which one do we become? So a man's expectation is when the two become one, she becomes like me. She does what I want. You see? And then the wife, the other side is like, when two become one, that man needs to do what I want all the time, that kind of thing. Yes, so couples need to be more honest with each other and have a conversation without being judgmental with each other. And secondly, to try to manage expectations, to try to know what you want. What do you want to achieve?
What do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? And then what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where can I be of help?
Okay.
You see, for me, I think that is a discussion I would love to have with my partner. Yes. Because after about 2, 3, 4 years, we should be at a point where I think we are aligned to.
But by that 2,
slightly the same thing.
3, 4 years, and people already disappointed. Because I don't know what Ayub thinks. When do you think we should communicate these expectations?
I think right from the start of the relationship. Because now, like, using my personal experience, I grew up in a broken family.
Okay.
My mom left home when I was in primary 7. And it was this very huge family where I come from a Muslim family. And my dad is one of those typical Muslim men who marry so many women. Yeah, so when my mom left when I was in primary 7, I remained in the hands of a stepmom.
Okay.
Yes, with so many siblings. And now it so happens that even my wife comes from a broken family. So these two young ninjas are coming together from totally two different broken
homes
families.
and broken in different even ways.
Yes. So I was like now a whole new experience. We didn't have that feel of I've seen dad and mom do this for us. They've come to school to visit us. They've called us for a meeting. None of us had that, me and my wife.
So you were figuring things out as you
So I come with my expectations. I've hustled a lot in life. Now it is my time to chill. And my wife does some of the things. She also comes with a lot of expectations where I have to take care of her. So in the beginning, we had so many differences. Yeah. But as time has passed by, we've learned to now appreciate each other, live with each other's differences and weaknesses. But at first we conflicted so much along those lines because these were two young adults coming from broken families with little or no parental love and care. And now we got a child before getting married.
Okay.
Yes. Now we have to raise a child. However, these are people who didn't have a lot of experience in raising children, because even us, we've hustled our own. Like me, I've hustled my own way. I started taking care of myself when I was like in primary 7. I began to work for people to earn a living as young as that age. Now I'm supposed to take care of a young boy.
And yet here comes a woman who expects the father to be caring to the child, nurturing the child.
Up to this time, she likes being carried. My wife, she likes being carried. So when I'm carrying the kids, she says, so imagine I didn't grow up seeing these things. Now I'm learning these new things. Yes.
Okay.
So I think right from the start, some of these things should be talked about.
Yes.
Like, what kind of family do you come from? How was your early childhood? How do you react when something bad happens to you? These are things that people hardly talk about.
Yes.
But they're very important in life. Because you get to know each other's weaknesses, you get to know each other's personalities, and how to deal with each other.
Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing from you is, I tell you, Banange, for me, why first of all I can't cook.
Yes.
Me, I can't cook. Don't even expect it. Then also, once in a while, I can stood up. Sometimes we fear that the more when you expose yourself, when you become vulnerable to someone, it easily pushes people away. And that's one of the things I've seen why people are not that vulnerable. But yet I think it's very important to talk about these things way before we get into the marriage. So if we've not...
Can I say something
Yes,
about that? You gave Ogabi Kufumba. For me, that's not my line. You know, that's an area of concern. Versus another area of concern of the man is supposed to provide everything. Yes. Because this is a marriage show. We can be honest that we face some of these challenges. Or we know our people around who face these challenges. You know, the wife says, So for me, it's the man.
The man has to buy me shoes.
Buy everything.
He has to pay for my hair.
Yes, and like my brother who says, no, for me, the food should be there. Now, for me, I think this is the middle point. The middle point is that we have, as Christians, we need to also be aware of I call them the roles that God has created for us. Yes. I have a feeling that as a man, it's my duty to look after my home.
Okay.
Yes, I can't swap that responsibility.
Okay.
I can explain it later on. And secondly, as a wife, it's your duty to submit. You know, to
that
submit.
Word, yes.
Yes. Now, submission is for me. It's like it's a position. It's not like a responsibility. The position of submission. When a wife submits to the husband, and then the husband also stands in his position as a lover and provider, then that marriage is going to work out so well. It doesn't take away the fact that much as I'm providing, now the provision that I'm talking about is mainly to offer an oversight role. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get money from my pocket on every... No, I should be able to have a vision for the home and sit my wife down and tell, honey, this is where I see ourselves after 10 years.
But what happens if your vision and mine are not...
They conflict.
Yes, they're in conflict. Because as you said, I've come from a home where maybe in this home, the women are supposed to maybe do something different.
Yes.
And your vision is we're supposed, maybe we're going to put our money together as this family and grow together. Yet for me, I'm saying, but where I come from, my money is my money. Then your money is also our money. So how do you put those two together?
Of course, I was trying to come to that, because that's one of the other challenges. It's because in this generation is a generation of empowered, emancipated women, women who even earn more than their husbands. And but it doesn't take away your position as a submissive wife.
True.
You see, my thinking, or in my opinion, I think, even if you make a lot of money, it's okay for you to come to your husband and say, husband, you don't meet a baby call or husband, this is what I've made. Hey, what can we do with it? You see, what can we do with this?
Like I bring it to Tenkanya.
You see, and then so the other area of cooking, like my brother says, it doesn't mean that actually the wife needs to go to the kitchen and do the cooking herself and that and the nails or stuff like that. But that's an office she needs to manage. Like in my home, I don't manage the house help. I don't know what I'm going to eat for supper. I don't, but it's not my wife who's going to cook it. Certainly she's not, because she's at work. You understand?
Yeah.
But she's managing.
At least she knows.
Yes, and then for me, she manages me. You see how when you did, right? When you did that, it's because there's a balanced diet. Today she can say tomorrow katunkuma. The other day I eat some meat. You understand? So
regardless of all these expectations we have, our roles need to be taken care of.
Our roles need to be clear. In my opinion, it's the role of the woman to be the homemaker,
Okay.
to take charge of the home.
So whether I can cook or not, I should be able to find space where food is served.
And even if the man doesn't have the money, he is the head of the family. He's the head of the family. He needs to be able to
think and find money.
Think and plan. Find money, yes, but also plan for the wife's money. For the good of the family.
Are you really? Now you're going to start planning for our money. You people be serious. You also support that they should plan for our money, are you?
Because as you're getting married, during the making of vows, you're saying whatever is mine is yours.
Yes.
Then what is yours is mine, and it's for better or worse. So if it's around those moments when I don't have, maybe those are my worst moments, and you have, so those are your better moments. Then you bring the better moments
and put them in the worst.
Yeah, in the worst. And
this equation.
Yes.
No,
ideally, you shouldn't even wait for the man to ask you whether you have some money. You bring it. If you have these small pellets, we used to call them saucers. Bring the money, put it on a saucer game one. Akasete kakanotata.
Now you see the difference in expectations.
Yes.
Maybe that is how you've seen things being done. Yet for me, I know there are people. Honestly, there are people that the man's money is our money, but my money is mine alone. And I've also seen men who are okay with providing for everything, even when the wife works.
Right.
So when we need, I think what we're trying to do is how do we find the intersection that was talked about? Where do we find the balance? Because one of the things that I've seen many marriages break is because of difference in expectations.
Exactly.
Yes.
And sometimes we even don't know what the expectations are. Because I don't know, were you able to tell your wife that I expect juice when I come back? Or you just bought passion fruits and put it there?
I bought and put there. I thought it was automatic.
That since the passion fruits are there, the juice will come.
These are some of the stories I used to hear from my friends.
Yeah.
You guys are not yet married. You don't take juice. You can't eat decent food. So at the back of my mind, I knew the moment I get married like this,
the juice starts flowing
automatically.
Yeah.
And so I was surprised in some of those areas. However, along the way, I started appreciating the fact that maybe it's not really her thing, and I shouldn't expect the juice all the time.
Yes.
If she gives it to me,
it's
well and
okay.
good. If she's not able to give it to me, I can make it myself, or I can take something else. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So many people are getting married right now, and we have these unmet expectations. Actually, some of us have been married for so many years, but we still have unmet expectations. In such a case, how would you encourage such a couple to work around it? If I have unmet expectations, I got married when I was promised that, knowing that a husband maybe after a year has to buy the wife a car. I'm waiting year 10 and I'm not getting the car.
Okay.
And yet most times I've even not told you that that's what is my expectation. How do we handle the unmet expectations?
Okay. I think I will go first. The very first thing is for the reason why we get married. In my opinion, I think the main reason why you get married is for companionship. Is for friendship. There's a verse which is in allow me to read this verse. It's in Ecclesiastes chapter 4 from verse 9 to 12, which says, two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one lifts up the other. But woe to the one who is alone and falls, and does not have another to help. If two lie together, they keep warm. How can one keep warm? By himself. Now this verse talks about companionship. I think the greatest expectation or the baseline for any relationship, for any marriage, should be companionship. If someone is not offering companionship, you have all the reasons to report this person. You see?
Okay.
Because in companionship, you get friendship, you get love. There's nothing bigger than having your best friend with you. Even when you don't have sugar at home, when you're seated with your best friend,
But
You can take a tea.
Kato, you
Let
see
me
now,
finish
those
my
are
point.
expectations.
Yes, let me finish my
For
point.
you
I'm
want
coming.
me to be there sitting with when there is no sugar.
I'm
Me, I
coming.
want sugar.
I said that's the baseline.
Uh-huh.
It's the baseline, the starting point.
Mm.
So the moment you have the companionship sorted, now the second one is, what am I bringing into the relationship as a man? You, the lady, what value are you adding to the relationship? We're talking about over expectations now, because expectations are not only what you expect, but what you
What is
want to
expected
give.
of you,
Exactly what
yes.
is expected of you. So so the equation doesn't balance if you're just talking of what is someone expecting. No, what are they also going to be giving back? You see, so I think marrieds listening to us should be able to develop a relationship that answers these questions. What am I expecting from my husband? And then what am I supposed to
Give back.
to give back? I can give one of the examples that have caused the greatest havoc in marriages. The expectation of having children. I don't know if you thought through it, but then all of us get married expecting to have kids, expecting to have boys or musika. Musika.
The men
You see?
have that expectation of
Omusika.
having a musika
Yes, and then 1 year
Then the
goes,
woman-
second year comes and goes, third year comes.
and goes.
You understand? Now the man who expects is thinking, mchala wangu has a problem. Kumbe, by the way, the man might be having the problem at that moment. And sometimes, unfortunately, the pressures come to our dear wives. Mchalo, saying, good, they've been to your habit here, we ate. The man brought things here, we ate. What's up, you know? Now, how do you handle expectations
How
like
do you
that?
handle
So that means that before you want to handle expectations like that, first sort out the issue, the baseline, the companionship issue.
So that whether
Yeah.
the children come or not.
Yes, when you sort that out, then these ones can be talked through. What options are on the table? Can you go and see the doctor? What did the doctor say? And then pray, because you have to be prayerful couples. A family that prays together sticks together, stays together. Yes, because we serve a God who is everything, omnipotent, omniscient. You know, He creates. He's a creator. You know, He's a healer. But even in those times when it is not happening, you have to have a fulfilled marriage. You feel like, wow, I'm glad that I got married. I don't have kids now. I'm glad I got married. And then other options can come into the picture now. How do we handle this? How do we handle this?
So I don't know if I'm getting you correct, but
Yes.
what you're trying to say is the relationship should be more important than all the other expectations around it.
Exactly.
As long as
Exactly.
we are companions.
Exactly. And then what you're giving back, what you're giving to the relationship. Now, lastly on this issue, expectations. I'm trying to create a scenario of a lady gets married to my brother Ayub here, and he expects that Ayub is going to be the managing director of MTN. I'm just giving an example.
Yes.
In the next 10 years,
Or the senior presidential advisor.
you know. But then, yes,
The year goes, the second one, he's not even becoming.
exactly.
that.
And then he goes to school, and somehow the results don't come out so well. Now, you need to take a step back. That what are my expectations of my man? Are they realistic, or they are not? I first need to appreciate my man as he is. I love my man. He's everything that I can have. Now then from that level, then that's when you can push him up gently. Yeah. So expectations at
Need
the
to
start of
be
marriage might be there, but as marriage go on and on, they need to
become
because they're like this.
realistic.
They need to now come down and then they meet at an intersection. So that at the end of the marriage, when people who are married for many years, they are here. Everything of theirs is here.
The intersection is bigger
Exactly,
than
it's
the
bigger.
outside.
Everything is here. Everything. This is our target. This is our target.
Okay, Ayub,
Yes.
do you think there are unrealistic expectations?
Yeah. I think so. It goes back to the backgrounds where all of us walk through. People who have grown up in these ideal families where dad and mom love each other. This girl has been loved so much by her dad. Everything it is dad. Everything is dad. When she gets into marriage, she's going to come with some of those unrealistic expectations. She expects the guy to be like exactly her dad.
Yes.
I think some people get issues along those lines. But now me who didn't have a lot of these parental love backgrounds, when I was entering marriage, I had my own expectations, of which many of them weren't realistic. However, because we had a daughter, like I said before we got married, I knew I came from a broken family. And if things don't work out between me and my wife, this daughter that we have is going to also grow up in a broken family. So I didn't want that for her. So I told most of my friends, even when I was getting married, because many were asking, hey, why are you getting married now? I told them, I want to give my daughter a very good example of what a family should be like, so that when she grows up, she'll respect family. Yes. So those are one of the reasons why I got married. But why I've also kept married. Because there were moments when we weren't talking to each other. So in my mind I was like, what am I still doing here? But then I kept on remembering
The reason as to why.
Yes, I want to give this young girl a very good picture of what family is supposed to be. Because I come from a broken family, I don't want her to grow up
in a broken family.
So that has kept me moving along the way. Then knowing that if I left this girl's mother, where is she going to go? Am I taking her back to her parents? And whoever will find her, will that person appreciate her when she already has kids with someone else? I knew that would be a challenge. So I was very intentional about making this marriage work, regardless of the differences that we've always had and that we have. I'm ready to make it work against all odds.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. For those who are just joining in, this is Family TV. Ring Diaries, and here we're discussing with these two amazing gentlemen about expectations in marriage, and especially those intending to get married or those who are just married. What are your expectations? Are they realistic or not? Let us go for a break, and when we come back, Ayub is going to tell us more about the expectations. Thank you very much. Welcome back. This is Church of Uganda Family TV, Ring Diaries, with me, Phiona Mbowa. And today we are talking about expectations in marriage with Kato and Ayub. And before the break, Ayub was telling us how poor man expected juice to be made without communicating the expectations, and how disappointed he became. And now he has, I think, learned to make the juice himself. And Kato was also telling us how we need to be realistic as we make these expectations, and also to understand each other's backgrounds as we get into this thing. So for anyone out there who is intending to get married, what would you encourage them to do about these expectations?
Personally, I think the expectations should be realistic. Yes. Because even outside marriage, there's this analogy of smart. Something being simple, it should be measurable, it should be attainable, realistic, and time-bound.
Okay.
Some people have these unrealistic expectations, like me, some of them that I had. I expected everything to be done for me. I go and work, then I come and everything is... But I realized...
Were you bringing the money? Because, as I was saying, if you're bringing the money, I will make the juice.
To the best of my knowledge, I think I was doing my part. I don't know whether I was bringing enough, but I think I was bringing. However, along the way, I've learned to put the needs of my wife and my children before mine. Because when I tried to put mine, I ended up being disappointed. So now I put theirs first. If If there's anything she needs and it's within my reach, I'll give it to her. And now my kids are also like their mom. I have a very young one of now 2 years. She asks you for yogurt, then today I want chips, then I want this. When you bring mukene, she doesn't want mukene. When you bring beans, because they sometimes hear their mother talking bad about the beans. So when they prepare beans at home, she Daddy, you don't want beans. So I have like three wives at home. My wife and the 2 daughters.
So the
They
only
want
man
to
in
think,
this kingdom needs
yes.
to be a king.
Yeah, so I put their needs first. So whatever I do, even when I'm out there working, I know I have these people who need a lot of taking care of. Yes. So I put theirs first. So even if mine are not met, I always have this fallback that it's good. I'm doing my best to meet their needs.
Right.
So in that, psychologically, I'm not weighed down
You're
by
not
my unmet.
disappointed.
No.
Yes. But now, if shouldn't we strike a balance somewhere, so that you meet to some point also your needs are met, but also mine are met, because I think if one I don't know what Kato thinks, if one person's needs are met and their needs not met, at some point there's some frustration that comes in. I don't know if I'm right.
Yes, I think you're right. It's a scenario that the men who love their wives too much tend to have this kind of like sacrificial love. The love that Jesus had for us, he died for us at the cross, and we never gave him anything. You see?
Okay.
There are men like that. I think I'm one of them, by the way. Yes, I think I'm one of them.
Yes.
I think I can.
You love without
Even
expectation.
Ayub has just said it. I think he's also like that, because he has learned to give and give and give and give.
Without
But
expecting.
to strike the balance that you're talking about, I think it's very important. It's important also, I think, as men to yes, I think
Well,
it's
at
also
some point
important.
you'll break down.
Yes, I grew up. I can share an experience. I grew up looking at 2 couples.
Okay.
Since they are known, I'll mention them. The first one is the president of Uganda and his wife. You know, I'm not into politics, but I grew up loving the way the president used to love and show love and handle his wife.
His wife, okay.
Yes, especially in public. The other one is Reverend Dr. John and Ruth Senyon. Yes, those were like my typical idols.
The couple you'd look at and
Exactly,
like, I want
because
to be
I
like
had
them.
gotten to know about Reverend Dr. John, because by then I was a student in Chambogo and used to come. No, not Chambogo, sorry, I'm not that old, by the way. In secondary school, I remember, I think the SU meetings we used to have. And then the wife is the daughter of one of the renowned, I think Bishop of Kampala or something. Yes, Bishop Kauma. So, and then when they got married, I was young. I was very young. But in my mind, I can recollect those moments.
Wow.
And through life, they don't know, but through life, I've been following them. Boba Chukolabatia. Now the president of Uganda, how does he do it? He's the president, but you've never seen him like being so assuming. Yeah? And
Like I'm the president.
Yeah, like I'm the president. You're my wife, Nyabo. Demawiga. Even when he's walking on the red carpet, he does like this. Mama, you know, please, you see. So it means that in trying to strike the compromise, also as the men need to give opportunity to our wives to love us, to show us love, and to like plan for us, much as we're the heads of the family, but to give them opportunity to plan for us. I've read books about the former president of the US, Obama, who says he's a product of his wife. His wife is the one who kind of like said, no, this is the way you should take. Please, this is it. Please, this is it.
So we should allow the roles to interchange at times.
Is
that it?
Yeah. Like my wife, you know my wife very well. She's she's the type of woman she knows everything in town. You know, sometimes I find problems with buying her presents because I think I'll get the shoe wrong, I'll get the bouquet of flowers wrong, I'll get the flowers wrong. Of course, I've also learned to be wise, to know how do I get it right without even keeping the surprise.
Okay.
I ran to the maid of honor, so that I wanted to give my brother advice. When you bring beans and they say beans are, no, you have to now bring the advantage of the beans, the nutrients, the proteins. No, beans are better than what?
They're better than chicken.
Better than chicken. When the yaka goes and there's no yaka, that night say today we're going to have a candlelit dinner. Candlelit.
Being wise with you.
No TV, no lights. Bring the candles, put them there. Like you have to be wise. You turn it around. So that like it's, and then the kids can say, Daddy, you should have these candlelit dinners every evening.
They don't know you're managing.
Exactly. And then that night, make sure you have enough stories for the kids. You make them laugh and what. So that like becomes like memorable. They don't forget the memories. Much as it's a bit of a lack for you, don't have money to what? To buy for the yaka. You see? And surprisingly, even our wives, when you show them love, our wives are like children. They overlook so many things.
So I can always put my guard down on expectations as long as you're loving.
Yes, like they overlook so many things. Talk about any couple, any Christian couple, you know about. You'll discover that the role that the wife plays is visible. The man doesn't like really cover the woman a lot all the time. It's visible, and that's I think how a Christian family should be. Of course, we're talking about expectations, but now when the kids come in, now the game changes. Because now the pressure might weigh on the man. The wife has expectations. The kids have expectations. The first one has, the second one has, and then it can reach a point when is like really so stressed. You understand? So it means he needs to first get the basics right. Him and the wife need to come to a point of agreement on so many things.
Okay.
The other expectation we should talk about is parenting, because we have different ways
and methods of parenting.
And methods and expectations of parenting. Yes. So
you may know I grew up when a child is beaten.
Exactly.
For you believes a child should not be beaten.
Exactly.
But this is my expectation, it needs to be met.
So that's an area that also couples out there need to sit down and agree. And sometimes it's okay to agree to disagree.
Yes, true. As long as you're in agreement.
Yes. I can give an example. Like at home, because of my nature, I'm a bit of the soft guy, you know, and then my wife is a bit of the hard guy. So when it comes to punishing the kids, she's a bit of the hard one. You understand? And then sometimes when I don't come out to also beat, she comes to me and says, Kato, you also beat.
So beat, you know? Whether you feel it or not,
whether you feel it or not, support me. So sometimes I've had to do it to support her. And sometimes it's hard to actually also compromise a bit to my side. Because me, I'm like, okay, fine, beating is okay, but then we need to sit down and first
have a conversation with the children.
Do you know what you did? You know it is wrong. And then manage your emotions. When you're emotionally charged up as a parent, you're not supposed to beat a child. Because you might actually kill the child in the name of punishing the child. Yes.
I don't know. Ayub, what is your take? What is your take? What are we telling these people who are getting to marriage and they have expectations that are maybe off, maybe not off, because in my right I may feel actually that is what I know. As you've said, that is what I know. I know my expectation is I'm coming to marriage, but women are supposed to stay at home and the man provides. But then you're coming and you're telling me, I think the way we are earning, I think you also need to do it, to go to work. So should we just not get into these marriages if we learn about these expectations early, or should we just go in and sort things from there?
Personally, I think having expectations is very important. But also being real to yourself is also very, very important. Because me coming into marriage and expecting this to be done for me, I'll also ask myself, or someone will ask me, you, what are you doing in return? Because now, right now, I have 4 kids. Extremely playful 4 kids. That even the day when I've spent a full day at home, I feel their presence and their playfulness around me. So I imagine their mother who is always with them. So if these kids are keeping on her toes the whole day, then I also come and throw my expectations at her. I'll not be real. Yes, probably I'll be weighing her down. But me, what I believe in, have your expectations. She has hers, but as a man, come ready to sacrifice some of yours for your wife and your children.
But when some people say that is unfair for the men to sacrifice, constantly sacrifice.
But that is what men are supposed to do. We are the priests of the home. We are supposed to take care of the family.
Okay.
So in taking care of the family, sometimes it comes with many sacrifices.
So who takes care of the men?
Men are like, God takes care of them.
And God can take care of the women?
Men can always, there's a way God designed men. We always know how to fix ourselves. We are fixers. Yes, so we always find a way of fixing ourselves. But mostly, maybe Arsenal will fix us. We shall go and watch soccer.
I think there has to be a fix that we can't turn.
The sacrifice you're talking about, in my opinion, should be expectations have to merge at one point in time. At one point in time in marriage, expectations have to merge so that it's Nora and I, we have our expectations in life. After
so
5 years,
we
would want
to merge.
I think it's the discussion we've been having that it's a daily, gradual sacrifice. Because remember, expectations are high this side, they're high this side. As I sacrifice daily, with the pressures that come with family, the kids and everything, she's also doing the same. At one point in time,
we meet someone.
As a couple, in my opinion, as a couple, we should have similar expectations. In my opinion.
Similar expectations, or you get to a point where you learn what your wife wants, and you're able to meet the expectations as she also learns what you expect.
In other words, maybe that. Yeah, so that after about 10 to 15 years, when you're telling your story, you don't have disappointment.
Because that's what, and that's what I was getting from Ayub's statement.
Yes.
The fear of the disappointment coming in. Because if we keep giving, God is going to take care. Yes, God is going to take care of the men, but I think we need to get to a point where we actually meet.
The other example I can give is still like people say that we men with our kids when they're young, we struggle for them and everything. But when they grow up and they graduate from university, they thank mommy, that
is
mommy, you know, that kind of thing. It's like my parents are there, but honestly, most of us think about our mom. I don't know why. I don't know why.
She carried you for 9 months.
So it is right by you saying. It's right by you saying that Papa said, even as men,
we need. I think you need to be considered at some
point. Yes, we need to be considered at one point in time. Yes, I think that's right.
Our needs need also to be put in account, because a lot of frustration is coming from that element of actually who is taking care of the men. Who is taking care of the men?
Yes.
Because if the man is meeting because Ayub is saying you have to meet the needs of the wife, the children. Now, who is meeting the needs of the man?
Me at home, I had a discussion when we were going in COVID. I knew that we were going to be home for quite a long time.
Okay.
The first person I sat down was the house help. With respect, they do a perfect job. I told her, Nyabo, sort yourself, because this period we're going to be together. I'm not going to have a lot of time to say, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. So do the right things. Because then I have
time. You have other things to.
Yeah, and I have the other parties also to look up to. By then we had my mother-in-law. She's at home. By the at home I'm the only man. So intentionally I know in my head that I need to care about
everyone else.
Everyone's feelings, including the house help. I don't disregard them. My mother-in-law. Sometimes she comes and says, baby. One, baby, I have a headache, because she looks up to me as like, I don't know, like
a child.
She calls me baby, as a solution. Then my wife comes, then the kids come, daddy, this one beat me. Then my wife also comes, you see? So at the end of the day, I think from a man's perspective, we've learned to harden up and have that sacrificial love that doesn't expect really in a marriages. And I believe it's the same that men out there should have.
Okay, we agree to disagree, but I think it's important. It's very beautiful that the men are willing to give up their expectations for peace. Actually, I think it's for peace, just for us to be on even ground. But then, anyway, we'll not end that conversation. But it's beautiful that we think that way. And I just want us to just encourage someone out there, people who, especially those who have unmet expectations. We are 10 years in marriage, and honestly, they have not even made that juice. At least for you've learned how to make your juice. But they have not made that juice, and I'm also not making that juice. So what advice do you give to people? What recommendations do you give to the people out there like that?
I had a story of three animals that went to look for mangoes. So when they reached there, the ripe mangoes were very high, so they couldn't climb the tree. So they were there looking at these mangoes until they realized they were not going to get any mangoes. Okay. So one of them said, they may even be very bitter or spoiled. Let's walk away. Yeah. So I think even when people are out there, if you're intending to get into marriage, come with an open mind. Especially for men. It's good to have your expectations, but come with an open mind. If they are met, well and good. If they are not met, you lose nothing. Otherwise, if you put your expectations first, many times you're going to get disappointed. Because by design, we are supposed to sacrifice for the people that we love as men. Okay. That's why the Bible keeps on saying, it is not good for man. It is not good, you see? So it is us to take care of, to manage the home. Otherwise, if it was the other way around, probably maybe God would have made Eve first, then get a rib from her and make Adam. But because Adam was supposed to take care of Eve, so it was Adam first. So Adam would take care of the garden, would take care of everything. So as men, it's good to get married. Yes. And to the young men out there, do not wait for a lot of money to get married. Because people think when you have a lot of money, that's when you'll be happy. I've seen people who are married in my line of work. I work in a mental institution. I've seen so many broken families, people who are struggling in their marriages, people who have gotten mental disorders, all because of such unrealistic expectations. They have all the money, they have whatever they need, they have people who are doing everything at home, but still they have issues that are tearing them apart. So it's good to come with an open mind. If you do not have a lot of money, you don't have to have a lot of money to get married. Just get in there. As long as you have someone that you love and you're ready to love her, eventually these people begin meeting some of our needs. As you're loving and sacrificing for them, they begin throwing a few things here and there to meet our needs. So it becomes a win-win. So just come and join the club.
Okay.
where we fight and make up.
I like the making up part more
Yes.
than the fighting.
Yes.
Yes, Kato, what are your parting shots for our viewers?
Thank you very much. I'll be very brief. Dear viewers, the young people out there, marriage is a beautiful thing. The reason why we get married is to be happy and to have happy marriages, happy families. So I would want to encourage the couples out there that see something positive, something beautiful in each other. Don't dwell on the negatives, because all of us are not perfect.
Not perfect. True.
Right? Yes, yes. Like the saying goes that the grass is
Always green
it's
on
always green at the other
side.
side. Yes. So let's look at and focus on the positives with each other. Then life will be so beautiful. And beautiful life is not one that is perfect, but one that is complete. Yes, complete life. Yeah. So for me, I just want to encourage them to the young couples out there to love each other, grow each other. Yes, build each other up. When you have opportunity to create memories, create as many memories as possible. Go out, watch movies, those things that just takes more money, but create memories together. Yes, because when the bad moments come, you kind of like remember those good moments and feel like, yeah, I think we can get there again. Yes, yes. And thanks for hosting us. We are so grateful. Yes, thank you.
Thank you too, and thank you very much, our viewers. As you've heard from these experienced people, one thing I keep telling you is here at Ring Diaries, we're talking about real people, real experiences. We want to get it out of the world and bring it down to us as real people. What is happening in our homes? What expectations are those that you have? Are they unrealistic? If they are, can you drop them and get those that are less, at least almost realistic? But also, as you've heard from the gentleman,